The mission planner settings. There are going to be parts of the video where I'm going to be uploading this video to YouTube, so you can always pause just to see what settings I have, if that's what you want to do. Okay, so this is for the Erle Brain 2. I've posted many videos of the Erle Brain, the Erle Copter, which uses the Erle Brain 2, and I'm going to show you the settings which I am using to achieve that performance level or that flight characteristic, if that's what you want. Okay, so the first thing we do is we need to connect to Mission Planner. So the first thing we do is we start Mission Planner. You're then going to have this screen. Now we need to connect, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the first thing is to first start your Erle Copter. So keep it plugged in, make sure it's powered on, make sure it's got the beep. Okay, once you get that beep, that's it. The Erle Copter is now ready to operate. Obviously, you've got to have a Wi-Fi dongle. Your computer or your laptop needs to be connected to your copter using Wi-Fi. You can also connect it using an Ethernet cable as well. So, once all that's ready, you've got your computer on, your Erle Brain started, internet connections, the Ethernet connections sorted, or your Wi-Fi connection sorted, we're ready to go. So the first thing we do is start Mission Planner. On the connect button here, we click once. On the local port, we're going to enter 6000, and then we click OK, and then we wait. Now it's connecting. Okay, also notice here these values, UDP 115200, so note that as well. You've got your flight data here, there you go. Right now I haven't connected the receiver, I haven't switched on my receiver, the RC, and the copter is disarmed. It's actually in my kitchen right now, the copter. You can see my location, and you can see the bearing here. Okay, so it's pointing sort of northeast, as it were. I think it's pointing northeast, I think. Or it might be pointing this way, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to go over right now. Okay, the satellite counts. I've got a GPS fitted, and right now, although it's in my kitchen, it's still picking up 10 satellites. Yeah. Okay, so it can use, so that's how it's getting its GPS fix. It's got 10 satellites, and it's able to get that GPS fix. Yeah, it's pointing northeast. Okay, you've got some other information here, GPS 3D fix, whatever. Anyway, if you want to pause the video, you can actually see what I've got. Now, let's move on to the PIDs. That's really what I want to show you. Let's go to extended tuning here, and that displays the PIDs that I have. Okay, if you need to, you can pause it, and you can look at my PIDs. If you want to, you can copy them and see what happens, how your copter responds. And you can use them as starting values as you're tuning your copter. Obviously, as you tune it and you get better settings for your copter, these values will definitely be different to yours. But you can use this as a start, as a reference point. Okay, so that's your PIDs. Next thing we're going to go on to, oh, this is, by the way, config tuning. So if you go to config tuning, you have these available. You've got your flight modes. These are my flight modes. I've got alt holders one. That for me is the most important flight mode. I always fly in that because it's the safest. The Erle Brain can handle calculating altitudes. It does it pretty well, decently, so why not use it? Use that technology, it's there. I also have brake mode. Okay, brake, so once I hit the brake switch, it will hold in the air, in mid-air. It won't go left, it won't go right, it won't go up, it won't go down, it should hold in the air. And I've demonstrated this in the videos. And finally, the last flight mode I have is this one, that's land. Flight mode 6, that's land. Okay, so the three flight modes on my flight mode switch is number 1, Alt hold, number 4, brake, number 6, land. And I can also change, if I want to, I can change it to any of these flight modes here. But this is what I have. It works nicely for me, and it's also quite safe. So during testing, if the copter is going out of control, I can brake it, I can get my bearings, I can try and get the copter back in control. If not, I can land it. Okay. These are my basic tuning settings, so make a note of those. Okay, you can pause the video and you can check out those if you want to. Let's see, extended tuning. So these are my PIDs. I think I've already shown you. Again, you can pause the video, you can take a look at that. Okay, here's an interesting one, channel 7. Notice I've got the emergency stop, motor emergency stop. That allows me, especially during testing, I can cut off the motors immediately. I just flip that switch and boom, the motors will cut off. So that's actually important to me as well. I would advise you have that as well. Okay, a motor emergency switch, that's done in extended tuning. Standard params, I don't really use this setting, to be honest. Let's see what we've got. I don't really use it. I'm not going to bother going through it. You can do it in your own time, but I don't use it at all. Advanced params as well, I don't use that. What I use is, I mean, you can use the full parameter list, but I use the full param tree, and I'll show you what the settings are now. Okay, so let's go full parameter tree. I'm going to go setting by setting, and again, you can pause the video and make a note of these settings if that's what you want to do. Okay, AHRS, this is probably the most important setting, to be honest. Notice it, GPS gain, I'll put that down to 0. That works best for me, especially when getting the yaw. When I have this set to anything above 0, I notice that the yaw is terrible. The yaw seems to go out of whack. GPS, I live in London, so I have access to a lot of GPS satellites. I've put a minimum of 10. Okay, use GPS here. Let me see this value here. Right, so when we're correcting the altitude, I've put it up to the maximum value. Very important, these two, AHRS trim X and Y. This is what's going to give you stability in flight. It'll allow you to hold a position mechanically without needing to get the GPS involved. Using Alt Hold, this is what we use. Okay, angle max, again very important. If you want to have a acrobatic copter, you increase this value. I've run it as high as 6,000. Okay, but if you want ultra stable, you can go for something like 1,500. Arming check, always have that at 0. I have no interest in that. ATC, make a note of those settings. I'm not going to talk about them. Auto tune, I don't use auto tune because it's useless. It doesn't work for me. It was an absolute. I used it a few times. Absolute disaster. It doesn't work. I prefer manual settings. Let's see, compass. Right, here are my compass settings. If you want to, you can make a note of them. I'll scroll down, and again you can pause. Yeah, those are my compass settings. And talking about compass settings, let me just quickly go through something. I'm going to show you. Let's see, compass. I just thought I'd show you that. I think that's important. Okay, compass 1. This is the externally mounted GPS, which comes with a compass. It's externally mounted. I'm not using the compass. Notice that. Primary compass is compass 2. This is the internal compass. Compass 2 right here. Look at the offsets, they're all in red. Yeah. Some people get scared when they see red. Don't worry about it. This is fine. It works beautifully. Use this compass, yes. Externally mounted, no, it's an internal compass. Compass 1 is the external compass, compass 2 is the internal compass. Okay, so I just thought I want to show you that. Let's go back to the parameter tree. Let me see, what were we doing? Shoot, circle, compass, yep, we've talked about compass. EK2, I'll show you these settings. You can pause the video at any time to see my settings in more detail. I'm just scrolling down nice and slowly. Again, just pause it if you need to. It's EK2, EKF. Same thing. I'll scroll down. You can pause at any time. Okay. EPM. I didn't make any changes to this. Default. Fence, I don't use the fence, you can use it. I'm not going to bother showing you, everything's default in that. Flow, I didn't use this either. Flight modes, these are already covered. I've explained to you how to change the flight mode, so I'm not going to do that here. FS, fail safes, I haven't done any changes to the fail safe, so those are set at default. GPS, some people wanted to know what my GPS settings are, so here we go. Pause the video if you want to see. I'm using the GPS I'm using is uBlocks M8N, so that works for that. uBlocks M8N, these are the settings I use, and I get decent performance. That's your GPS settings. Ints, these are the filters. I made a lot of changes to the filters. I reduced them, so make a note of what I've got down here. Don't worry about the offset so much because your computer will do that automatically, but you can pause the video to check my ints settings. In particular, it's the filters that really are where I make the changes. Ints gyro filter and ints accel filter here. Okay, those are ints. Blend, didn't make any, hang on, did I? No, I didn't make any changes to that, but those are my settings anyway. LGR, didn't make any settings, change. Log, didn't change anything for that. MIS, I didn't change anything for that. MMT, didn't make any change for that. MOT, I did. Now, here we go. Make a note of these settings. These work for me, and I think you should use these as your reference settings, and then you can make changes as and how you want to. MOT settings. Pause the video if you want to see more of those. P hold, position hold. These settings are good, so you can make a note of those settings. Pilot, yep. So in Alt hold mode, you have the velocity max. I've got it down to a minimum right now, 50. But I think really to get a good good performance during high-speed flights, I would put that to around 150. Okay, so if you're doing acrobatic maneuvers in Alt-Hold mode, I'll put that to around 150. But if you're flying slow, 50 is good, it's nice and slow, it's nice and stable. This is the speed, 50 centimeters per second I think it climbs at. What else? The acceleration, I put that to the maximum. I would do that. This is a good setting. Just put the acceleration at 500, that's the maximum. Takeoff, yep. So when you take off in Alt-Hold mode, I put it up to 75 centimeters. So what will happen is when it goes, it'll stop at 75 centimeters, and then you can push up the throttle again, and then it'll increase height. Dead zone. Yeah, leave that 100. Dead zone. Leave that 100. That's fine. Pause. Yeah, I didn't make any changes to that. That's the default settings. Rates. Rally. Didn't make any changes to that. Rate. I did. These are the PID settings, but the PIDs should be done in extended tuning here. So I wouldn't do them in the parameter tree. Okay, that's the rate. RC field, we've already covered this. This was done in basic tuning. RC field, I've got it to 90. RC speed, default 490, that's fine. RC1, this is the XY axes, left and right. Okay, those are my settings. Notice the dead zone of 15. Default, I think, is about 30. Put it down to 15. Put it even lower if you want to. I've got it down at 15. RC2 is what I'm interested in. This is the Y setting. This is forward and backward. So remember, RC1 is X. That's going left to right, right to left. Y is RC2, forward and backward. Okay, note these settings here. These are fine, these work for me, and they can work for you. When you calibrate your radio controller, then these settings will fully change automatically. RC map, I didn't change anything of that. It stays the same. Relay, no. Default settings. RNG find, I don't use rangefinders, so that doesn't apply to me. RPM, yeah, but I don't, that's default. I haven't got an RPM sensor, so. Return to land settings, I didn't change any of that. Serial, I think not. I don't think I changed anything else. THR I did. Here we go. Throttle, dead zone, 250. Okay, so when you're using Alt hold or pause hold or loiter, this dead zone I've set to 250. Okay, this is a good setting and I would do that. If I were you, set it to 250. THR mid, this should really be set up in your basic tuning. Let me see, basic tuning 400. That's set up here. Throttle hover 400. Yeah, don't bother setting it up here, do it in your basic tuning. Throttle mid, that's 400, throttle mid is 90. Yeah, 90 is good, but you're going to have to set it up on your own copter according to your motors and your ESCs. Yeah, but 90 is a good place to start. If the motors aren't spinning at the lowest throttle level, increase this value. Simple as that. Tune, default settings haven't changed. Vel, what's this? Vel, I haven't changed any of these settings, so leave them as they are. Vel, WP nav, I haven't used waypoints, so WP nav. Okay, so that's it. We've been through it all. I've gone through all my settings, and hopefully, maybe that will help you. Let me just make sure that I've made it all chain, that I've talked about everything. That's your radio calibration screen. Calibrate radio if you want to start calibrating. ESC calibration. That is not done here. This is not done here. This is done without Mission Planner. Flight nodes we've already talked about. Failsafe, I haven't set them up, but you can do that. Battery monitors, I've tried to set that up, but it doesn't work. Pulse motor. I've tried that and I wasn't really successful with that, but you can have a go at that. Oh, and this is a good one. When you're setting up when you're building your copter first, this is actually a good one. Do a motor test. What this will do is that you can test each motor in turn, which is actually quite nice. Okay, that's it. Hopefully that will have helped you.